In the third and final part of this Seychelles travel series, we return back to the island of Mahe for the last few days of our trip. We make the most of our remaining time on the island, visiting various beaches and having one night of luxury at a fancy hotel. Before getting back to the island of Mahe, we had one last sunrise on the island of Digue, so I headed to Anse Palat. And it was certainly a good morning with some wonderful golden light shining on the beach. As I looked out at sea, I could see some pretty dramatic clouds and plenty of rain showers, which made for some nice images. And as I was heading back to the room, I noticed an incredible rainbow way out at sea. So it's our last day on the island of Digue, and it's been absolutely brilliant. We've really enjoyed our time here. It's been so relaxing, just sort of going from beach to beach and sort of cycling around. And yeah, it's been so good. The beaches here are so photogenic, and yeah, really looking forward to the next few days, the last few days of our trip. With some time before our ferry at midday, we decided to cycle right round to the east side of the island to where the road ends. I don't think many tourists venture to this side, to be honest, and yeah, it was certainly less inhabited. I'm guessing because it was more mountainous and probably because it gets most of the weather in the rainy season. But yeah, we wanted to at least see this side briefly before we went, just so we could say we saw the entire island. We then made the hour-and-a-half ferry back to Mahe, picked up our hire car at the terminal, and then made our way to the south of the island to where our accommodation was. We then went to Anse Baie Lazare for sunset, and we got some beautiful conditions. For sunrise, I went to Anse Royale, which I actually went to on the first morning about 2 weeks previous, so it was kind of like I was coming back full circle. Later that morning we drove to the north of the island near the capital, because that night we splashed out a bit and had one night of luxury at a Hilton hotel. And just to add, this video isn't sponsored.
pretty much for the whole trip. We'd been quite frugal with our budget when it came to accommodation, food, activities, etc. So yeah, we saved up a little bit of money in other areas so we could do this. Before the trip, we spent quite a bit of time researching some nice hotels, and I think mainly it was the spectacular infinity pool here which sealed the deal for us. And I've got to say, this was probably the nicest hotel room we've ever stayed in. It was a huge room and the overall decor was really well done. So we pretty much spent the whole afternoon exploring the hotel and chilling by the pool. There were a couple of private beaches to explore, and you could hire some kayak equipment, some snorkeling equipment, so yeah, I kind of felt like there was lots of different activities that you could do. We were really lucky with the weather as well, and to be honest, we couldn't have asked for a better day. And that evening we had a drink at the gin bar and watched another beautiful sunset. For sunrise, I headed to Carana beach, and I wasn't sure what to expect from this beach, but I was pleasantly surprised as it had some really interesting rocks.
Alright, so it's our last day here in the Seychelles, and we've had a brilliant time for the last couple of days. We've just been chilling out by the hotel, in the pool, and just sort of relaxing for our final couple of days before going back. And yeah, we've both really enjoyed this trip. It's been amazing. Weather has been brilliant. Photography has been really good as well. I think having visited the three main islands, we definitely prefer Digue, I'd say. I think it's a really great place to go if you want to see some amazing beaches and you just want an easy way to get around. Praslin is just as good. It was a lot quieter than Digue. It seemed a little bit less touristy, and obviously because the island is bigger, everyone can sort of spread out that much more. Having visited Mahe properly for the last couple of days, I wouldn't say it's my favourite island. Definitely towards the north, it's much more crowded. There's a lot more resorts and hotels. So if that's the sort of thing you're after, Mahe's probably the place to come. But on this island, down south, it definitely feels a lot more local. You get a lot of the beaches all to yourself, so it depends on what you want, I guess, from your holiday. But having visited all the islands, it's been nice to have a good mix.
And then for the rest of our final day, we headed back down to the south of the island to check out the last few beaches that we hadn't yet explored. And our first stop was Anse, Interdance. And yeah, there were some really big waves here, and towards the end of the beach, the whole mountainside was just packed with palm trees, something we hadn't really seen anywhere else in the Seychelles. Because the sea was so rough here, we decided to then head over to Anse Takamaka, and this was another incredible beach. At the end of the beach, there was a nice bar and restaurant that had such a great view of the beach and looked out over the sea. The sea here was nice and calm and really relaxing, so we spent much of the afternoon here.
Yeah, we're just watching sunset at Anse Takamaka, and yeah, we've just sort of been reflecting on what has been an incredible 2 weeks. And I think with the itinerary, we got it spot on. I think we spent enough time on each island. We had enough time that we saw everything, but not too much time that we got a little bit bored. So it's been great to see all of the islands, all of the main ones anyway. So yeah, just going to watch sunset at this beach. Probably one of the better beaches we've visited here on Mahe, just because the waves are nice and calm, not too choppy. It's been a really good one to finish.
And soon enough, it was approaching sunset, and boy did we get one hell of a show. Probably one of the most vivid skies we've ever seen.